Hello everyone, welcome back. I'm going to do another League of Legends video for you today. But I decided that I was not going to play Trundle this game, but I want to apply the same concepts that we learned in the last few videos. We're just going to be selfish, push our lane, and just keep trying to push and push, and only worry about our own objectives, okay? But I wanted to switch it up because I wanted to see if maybe the case was just simply because I was using Trundle. What if I use a different character? But I figured I wanted to use a character that was still good at pushing a lane. Because some characters are built around team fighting, and other characters are built around strong pushing their lane, or overpowering their opponent. So I decided I would do something like Renekton today. And I want to show you some of the runes that I'm going to use. They're not the normal runes that you would see on Renekton. Okay, so we'll go over them. And part of the reason I go over the runes with you guys in these videos is because some people don't actually like take the time to like go over the runes themselves. They don't sit there and think, they might go to a website and like pick a bunch of runes based on like the character, and they'll just be like, let me get Renekton runes, and then you'll see like the highest win rate runes, and you just plug those in, and then you accept it for what it is, right? But we are doing something specific, right? Like we have a choice in mind before we even go into the game. This is what we're going to do. We're going to push our lane. We're not going to care about our teammates. We're just going to do our own thing, right? So, with that in mind, we can't just build what everybody builds, or what a majority of the people build, because we want to synergize with ourselves, because that's what our goal is. So, I'm going to go over these runes real quick, just so you can see what we're going to try and accomplish here. So, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to use the Resolve um, rune bracket here, and the first thing we're going to pick is Aftershock. After, after immobilizing an enemy champion, increase your armor and magic resistance by 70 to 120 for 2.5 seconds. Then explode, dealing magic damage to nearby enemies. The damage is 10 to 120 plus 3% of your maximum health. So you also have to think about when Renekton's ultimate makes him gain health, right? He grows in size and gains health. And also, the items that we purchase for Renekton, majority, I don't even know the word, but most of the time is going to be some type of heal, or not heal, health item, right? So, Black Cleaver, Trinity Force, Frozen Mallet, those types of things are health building, right? So the more health we have, the more this is going to help us out as well, right? Plus 15% of your bonus attack damage. So not only are we getting items that are going to help our health, but we're also going to get items that are going to help our attack damage. And this Aftershock is actually going to be really, really good for us. Especially since we just want to push a lane as hard as we can and sort of be unstoppable. So basically what's going to happen is with this one ability, we're going to basically dash in with our E, auto attack, stun with our W. This is going to kick into effect. Now we're going to have extra magic resistance for 2.5 seconds, which is a long time in this game. A long time. And the extra damage that happens when this explodes is all going to come out of the second part here where it says damage. So you're going to have the health, the attack damage, and all this extra stuff. Assuming they're still alive, okay? Um, Next, we're going to move on to Demolish. This is fairly basic. Everybody knows what it does, but they don't know how much damage it does and why it works the way it works. Charge up a powerful attack against a tower over 3 seconds. While within 600 range of it, the charged attack deals 100 plus 35% of your maximum health. So, again, the health that we're going to be stacking with our items is going to help us do extra damage to the tower. So, by the time we reach the Nexus, we're chunking, 50 to 75% of the tower just with one demolish hit, which is massive because it helps us push the lane super, super hard. And if we're lucky enough to get fed, we'll be doing that before we even reach the inhibitor turret. So, you know, this is really good for us since our goal is basically to push our lane the entire game. Bone plating. After taking damage from an enemy champion, the next three spells or attacks you receive from them deal 25 to 50% less damage. So not only are we going to be taking less damage from bone plating, but we're also going to be getting armor and magic resistance for 2.5 seconds for stunning the enemy. Okay? Now here's the last part of our resolve. Unflinching. After casting a summoner spell, gain 15% tenacity and slow resistance for 10 seconds. Very long time. Additionally, gain 10% tenacity and slow resistance for each summoner spell on cooldown. So basically, our goal is to get into the fight. So we have to cast a summoner spell to dash in. So this is going to kick into effect for 10 seconds. Plus, we're going to do our auto attack W, which will immobilize them, giving us this bonus. And then they're going to want to fight back, so we're also going to take less damage from that. So ultimately, our entire goal here is tower pushing and preventing the enemy from really stopping us from doing what we want to do. Because we're taking less damage, or we have more slow resistance and tenacity, which essentially it's kind of like a Mercury treads, right? Your any type of CC against you is going to be lessened. The effect is going to be lessened. So, in order to synergize with unflinching, we're probably a lot of times, depending on who we're going against, but a lot of times we're probably going to want to get Mercury treads, even if we're going against somebody that's like an AD character. Um, but a lot of things that people don't think about is sometimes they might have, you know, a rune that, deals magic damage also, like this one here. Um, when it explodes, dealing magic damage to nearby enemies. So, if they have Mercury treads, that's lessened. So, runes, just because you're going against an AD character doesn't mean that they're going to do magic damage against you also through various different means, okay? So Mercury treads is not always a bad idea. In fact, it's a good idea a lot of the time, especially when you're focused on making sure that you're able to be the most mobile person you can and get through the lane as fast as you can. So we had the inspiration runes before. Um, I want to go ahead and just keep on that train so that we're not going too much into depth with every single rune page out there. Like, we'll go through them. I promise you we'll go through them. But for now, we're just going to stick with the inspiration. We're going to get those free magic boots, and the reason why we're going to do that is, like I said in the previous videos, really all it is to save us 300 gold in the game, right? Because we're trying to figure out how to get out of bronze, and if we die, we just gave 300 gold to somebody, and we're trying to already be ahead before the game even starts. We're trying to find ways to make sure that we have money in the long run. And that extra 300 gold could actually help us out. So we're going to stick with that, just to save us that 300 gold. Now, when we get farther into the future, that I will probably change this into maybe either domination or precision. But for now, we're going to stick with the inspiration because it's what we know and it's what you've seen in the last video, right? So we're also going to try to get our cooldowns We're going to make everything better on cooldown so that we can do things faster and more often. Also, we're going to give ourselves some more cooldown reduction here. And then I want to be able to be beefy, so I'm going to say magic and armor resistance. Magic resistance and armor right here just to help us out. Okay? So I say we go ahead and try to jump into a game. Now, if you haven't seen any of my previous videos and you're new here, I usually choose the lane that I want to go, and then I put mid as the secondary because it helps to almost ensure that you're going to get your lane. Now, it's not always the case, you know. Sometimes, I mean, for all I know, I could get jungle. um, and if that's the case, that's not what I'm trying to show right now, so I'll probably just play the game and change into another. I'll just, record a new video until we get to our top. But hopefully we can get our top lane here, and I really hope that I can get the Renekton. But sometimes you get into a game and people are just trying to troll you because maybe they got the wrong lane or something. They're just trying to piss you off, trying to make you dodge because they don't want to be the one to dodge. But here's what I have to say about dodging. Okay, some people, like, if you're in bronze and you happen to be one of those people who try to force other people to dodge, what I'm not understanding is if you think that you're going to lose, then just dodge. Like, you lose maybe 3 LP. I think that's what this game uses, LP. You might lose 3 LP and 5-minute ban, if that. I mean, like, what is the sense in, like, causing people to get angry, and then you end up losing the game, and then you lose 20 LP because you actually were the one that made somebody else pissed off. Like, sometimes the way it feels here in bronze is that people, like, there are the trolls, the people who are trying on purpose to make people lose, which is common. But then there are people who don't realize they're causing their own loss. Whether they just rage or whatever, and it's just like, why? What's the point? There's no reason to be making other people angry. There's no reason for it. As soon as you get into a lobby, just people just start. Has nothing to do with the game either. That's insane. So, because I'm going top, and one of the characters that I think is really good against Renekton is Urgot, so I normally will ban Anivia, because Anivia's devastation to, like, all of League, really. But in this instance, I don't want to go against an Urgot, because he's good at, like, kind of manipulating the game, and then at the time that Renekton wants to ult, because he's starting to get into a fight or whatever, Urgot can actually, like, he's just bad. He's like a Pyke with range, and it's insane. I just don't want to get in that situation where I'm about ready to ult because I'm getting low health or whatever the case may be, but Urgot ults me before I can do so. I don't want to get into that situation. So, but hopefully we can take this to the next level now that for sure Urgot's out. And the thing is like, even though I ban Anivia a lot, I don't think there's a lot of bronze players that play Anivia, so I don't really feel like I'm afraid of seeing her. And even if I do, I probably can handle her. And the good thing with Renekton is he's basically got a double dash, right? So he can get through the wall anyways. Whether I have my flash up or not, I can get through the wall. So that I'm also not worried about Anivia in that aspect. And I don't know how the sound is for you right now. Um, but when I get into the game, I'll turn it down. Matter of fact, let me see if I can turn some of it down now. Hopefully that's not too loud. I mean, it's crazy how much this recording software will pick up. It's crazy how much the recording software will pick up like the sound, and like I have it down to level 3 and you guys can hear it just fine, I'm sure. Like I don't know. It's really crazy. So they're freaking out because I have smite, but remember, our goal is to push the lane, not care about what anybody says. We just want to do our own thing, you know. They're freaking out, and I'm sure you can see it right here, right in the. They're freaking out. They're absolutely freaking out that I have smite. But yeah, you know what? Like that's part of the problem in bronze, right? Is everybody thinks they know everything. Everybody thinks that, oh, if you have smite and you're not jungle, you're you know, just don't listen to people, okay? That's part of what this whole series has been about. Is if you want to get out of bronze, you have to get away from listening to the people who are going to stop you from winning, right? Now, is there a better solution than smite top pushing the lane and, you know, the reality is when you get to a higher level, yes, you're going to need the team play. You're going to need to coordinate. You're going to need other spells that are going to help you progress in the game. But right now, we're fighting people who have no clue. So why are you going to listen to somebody who has no clue? I'm going to get my Q first. And let's go with, since we already have a little bit of defense with our runes, I'm going to go with this. Otherwise, I would have gone with health. Now it just kind of depends on the runes you have and things like that. But
30 seconds until minions spawn.
Chaos will follow.
so we got to slash mute all, so I can keep trying while the noobs are crying. Because I just don't want it to affect me, you know? Like that's the reality here.
Minions
They're all
have spawned.
so probably our team is going to get wiped. But we're not caring, are we?
There is no retreat.
I don't know. And you know, it's funny too. Like I see like in bronze and silver, I see a lot of people like trying to, like it's automatic that they try to run to the enemy jungle. You know, instead of just subjectively thinking, do I need to do that? Why do I do that? Where do I want to start? Like sometimes you'll see it like junglers, this is their jungle lane, and this is the other jungle lane, right? It's not top to bottom, it's actually... well, I mean, it is top to bottom. I don't know how to explain it, but this is the top and that's the bottom. Like, they change based on how the game's going, right? So, like, you could easily see, like, the enemy jungler here, and then our jungler there, and that's completely normal. You know?
Nothing will stop me.
But like in bronze, they feel like it, like they have to invade or they have to like get a kill or something like that. Like there's no need. Just go play your game, play it slow, play it safe. And you know, maybe me not being there actually caused. I'm missing minions because I'm talking. It's very common for me, don't worry.
First blood.
But like me not being there, it might have actually caused us to not use them. But, you know, like maybe they're like, oh fuck it, Nathan's not here, so we're not gonna fight. So you know, maybe I actually saved my team without them even realizing it. Okay, so right there, you saw that burst of damage I did on him? What I'm doing is when I build up my rage, and I'll explain how I'm doing it with Renekton, right? I do, and I actually hit him one less time than I wanted to, but basically I build up my rage by hitting minions, and then once I have it up, I can dash the first time without using any rage, and then when I stun, they're stunned for extra time because I have rage on them, so I want to max out my E because I'm going to use that a lot. So basically, when I see him, I'll dash in on it, auto attack. I had a double stack of rage there, which is why I was able to do that. Yeah, so I want to basically dash when I have my rage up, because then when I stun, I'll stun him for extra time, which will give me another chance to get an auto attack in, and then I can Q after that auto attack, so I can just get a huge burst of damage basically for free. He's losing all his, and see now I wasted that E, right? But I didn't use my rage up, so now he's still kind of like screwed, like he's got to stay back. So this massive wave, I'm actually going to push it harder because I want
an ally has been
this tower.
An enemy has been slain.
He can't stun me, so I'm just going to a little XP demolish. Now, in a lot of cases, I think it's a bad idea to push past river, right? Because I don't have vision, so I'm just going to kind of back up and kind of play as if, like, vision is going to be an issue for me. Get my rage up, stun him extra, and then dash back out, right? So, that's kind of how that works. He's actually doing pretty good as far as like farming against me. I mean, for all I know, he could be a Smurf.
Destruction approaches.
See, that's why it's good to have that double dash. And that's why I'm not so massively worried about, you know, what's going on here, or if I push too hard, because I have escape plans, you know.
Embrace the claws of death.
And I want my rage up, and the only way to do that is if I'm constantly hitting stuff. So okay. It's okay with me. As long as you don't have that up, I'm happy. Because if I do get a gank, or, you know, I'm magically able to get, like, if I go after him again right now, now, if I didn't have Smite and I had Ignite or something right there, I may have actually been able to win that fight, but that's not our goal right now. We're trying to basically learn how to get out of bronze, right? So we're trying to focus more on making sure the lane gets pushed than trying to be like the best killer in the game. Because that's not how you win, right? Like, people take it into account where, and I'll explain this by here in a second. But like, people are always thinking about, you know, how do I get all the kills, and like they think that getting kills is what's going to win them the game, and that's the whole point of this series. It's not. It has nothing to do with kills. It has nothing to do with kills. It has everything to do with getting objectives. and who gets their objective better or faster, or like how much damage has he done to my turret? 0. How much damage have I done to his turret? I've almost got a plate. Like, I don't care if the game goes like that forever. As long as I'm ahead and I stay ahead, I don't care how many kills I have. I'm trying to get my objective. That's it. That's all you have to think about. The good thing about Renekton's ultimate here is now I can have rage anytime I want. So like, if you really wanted to like get in there, I could. But let me explain a couple more things real quick. So I got I got the Tiamat because it does like an AoE thing and it helps me push lanes faster. So like, I hurt, you know, things in an area. Okay, dude. Okay, so his ultimate's gone, which is really good. So I've been ganked by their jungle twice, and I haven't got a single gank myself. But, I mean, that's pretty typical, right? Like, that's what you see in bronze. Like, if you are a good player, you're going to get paired with terrible teammates, right? Like, as I said in a previous video, it's the way the algorithm is designed. Which is why you find yourself being better than your teammates. Which is why you have to understand you're not going to get your games. So you have to play in such a way that, I mean, you might get lucky. Maybe your teammate's having a good day or something, you know. Okay, dude. I mean, I don't know why you're trying to be so aggressive.
Killing spree.
I didn't want to use my ult there, but I need to heal and I don't have any more pods. So he's gonna go back, I'm gonna go back because there's no sense in me being in the lane yet. Like, I don't have enough health to really like get into that tower super hard. I just got my boots, which is good for me. I'll just get a little more damage.
An enemy has been slain.
A couple more pots.
Chaos.
Rampage.
And I mean, look, here's another thing. Like, as long as I don't die at top, right? Like, he's ganked me twice. Obviously, he's not very good because I still have my pink ward here. But he's ganked me twice, which is pulling pressure to me so I can deal with it, and then my teammates don't have to deal with it. Now they're ahead. And that's kind of the ultimate goal of this, right? Is like, don't listen to them, don't give a shit, focus on yourself, take pressure where you can. You know, you got Dragon out of it, no problem. See, that's why I max out my E, because it does way more damage onto him. He's almost like 25% health. I know he's going for my pink, but I'm going to be able to push this harder. Boom. Too easy.
Unstoppable.
Now I can push this without him even contesting. I can probably get 2, maybe 3 turret slates. I'll just take 2 and go 5 because he's out of lane, right? So because he's out of lane, I want to be out of lane. That was good for us. Definitely good for us. He made the mistake of going to hit that ward. Like, you might know it's there, but that doesn't mean you have to kill it. And like, people are just like, you know, they make too much of the wrong moves without realizing they're screwing themselves, right? So I instead of, see, it's recommending Ninja Tabi, but like, I just kind of use these because I know, like, if I click on this, I know how to access the items that I actually want, you know. So, I want to get Mercury Treads though, right? Especially since he's a magic user, right? Like, so he got my ward. I'll just get that, and I'm also gonna change this so that I have a Farsight, so that I can drop the ward here or something without actually leaving my lane, and then I can have a better chance at like seeing whether he's coming at me or not. Plus, this is a permanent ward until it's destroyed. See, I mean, look at the range on that ward. It's awesome.
Turret plating will fall soon. Dominating. Double kill.
And if you noticed, I maxed my E first, and yet I'm doing much better than a person who might max his W, for example. Because the W does do a lot of damage, true. But I want to be able to use my E as much as possible, right? So, it's just, in general, a good practice.
An enemy has been slain.
Get out of the fight before he can do anything. And I'll just burst damage him like that all day long.
An enemy has been slain.
So he's trying to freeze the door, which is fine. I don't care. See, now if he comes at me, I can just hurt him and he knows it. See, it's easier for me to do that than it is for him. Like, he has no choice. He has to let me take it. Now he has no flash.
An enemy has been
So
slain.
his farm is actually doing pretty good considering. Alright, well. I guess he's going.
Your team has
last.
destroyed a turret.
Now I don't have to go by yet. I'm going to try to push this a little harder. Even because my team is doing really well, and I want to like put as much pressure on this lane as possible because that'll keep Jarvan away from us. Plus I might get this. I mean, he can't really hurt me too much. So. Plus he just lost almost that entire wave, and so it kind of evened out our farm a little bit. I didn't even want to use my W there. I just wanted to build my raid.
Legendary.
Lavish brutality.
Killing spree. Your team has destroyed a turret.
See, and that Tiamat helps me clear waves a lot faster. It just makes things go like... Now each of our lanes have got their towers pushed. This is probably a good game for us.
Lasses cannot escape.
But again, I'm not helping my teammates. I'm not doing nothing, right? But have they come to help me? No, they haven't. But you have to realize that that's like, that is this game really. right? Like, people aren't going to help you. People don't care. They only care about themselves. Which is why, like, you know, challengers are always like, you can carry yourself out, you know, da-da-da-da. Well, yeah, you can, but you have to know how. And, like, people aren't willing to teach you or say, well, you can carry yourself out by simply doing this or that, right? They're just dicks and say, oh, you can carry yourself out. And that's not the right answer. That's not how, like, you know, I was raised, you know. I think that is
Double kill.
terrible manners.
Shut down.
See how fast I can push the lane just by, like, I have the Tiamat, I have my AoEs.
You have slain an enemy.
Boom! Tower chunk. That's why you get the health items. Just help with this demolish. Alright, Jarvan, well, I don't have my ultimate, and I feel like going to buy. So, I'll take your little jungle out of here. And I should probably try to do this arrow.
Shut down.
So I'm gonna get one more into W, because... Okay. Why is everybody... Well, I guess nobody gets Rift Herald. That's okay, though. I'm going to clear this so that it doesn't push onto my tower. Just enough to keep it pushed, you know, like... It was actually fine, I didn't even need to touch it.
Rampage.
I'm gonna get the Titanic Hydra because I want that health.
Shut down. Unstoppable.
Under a normal circumstance, though, I'll get the Ravenous Hydra.
Destroyed a turret.
Like if I'm running Ignite, for example, but I'll also have different runes. But because of what I'm trying to accomplish this game, I want the Titanic Hydra because I want the health, because I want it to be able to push the tower, right?
Who's next on the chopping
So, like, have a reason
An
for
enemy
what
has
you
been
buy,
slain.
you know? Like, just
Shut
because, like, you can
down.
go to a website and it'll say, buy these items and it'll do
Double
good against
kill.
these teams or whatever, like, but have a plan. When you go into a game, have a plan. Know what you're going to do. At least to some extent what you're going to do before the game even starts. Like, you might have to adjust, but follow your own plan and you might see that it just might be good for you. See, now I'm pulling pressure to top, so you can push that mid lane. And always have a plan of, like, escape, you know? Like, always know what your exit plan is. Because, I mean, there's no reason to die. If you don't have an exit plan, you're already wrong.
An ally has been slain.
I'm gonna take this because I don't want them to have it. At this point in the game, it's not like
An
a
enemy has
massive
been slain.
but also I have Smite Circle on me, so I'm not But I almost want to push this because they got 2 people dead, and now we're pushing all the lanes. I probably could kill Ashe, but yeah, that's what I was worried about, is somebody being there.
has been slain.
There's 4 people there. I'm just gonna go buy something. There's too much pressure going on right here, and they're not pushing the lane. At least when I get dragon. And actually, the Mountain Drake is really good because what does the Mountain Drake do? Plus 16, 23, and 30% damage to epic monsters and towers as true damage. Yeah, we want that. We definitely want the dragon for the tower damage, right? So, and like that's another thing. People don't know which dragons matter for what reasons too. Inferno Drake, attack damage and ability power, right? That's what you get when you do the Inferno Drake. Mountain Drake, you get damage to the towers and epic monsters. Cloud Drake, just keep reading it here so you know. Cloud Drake, movement speed tripled when outside of combat.
An ally has been slain.
And then the Ocean Drake restores missing health and mana if not damaged by a champion within 8 seconds. So, like, now you know what each Drake does and why each one is important. Now, it's important to get any dragon in the game, but some dragons, like you might realize, have a higher priority because of maybe a team composition you have, or something of that nature, right?
Double kill.
Okay, so there's Vlad. He might actually come at me, and I don't have anything to put here, so I know I'm stronger than he is. I'm probably stronger than most of them on the enemy team. Like, they only have 11 kills for this whole game. But I'm just making sure that my lane is pushed at all times, right? Like, if I keep pulling people to me, that's fine with
Take pride in how swiftly we
Ah! I mean, the only reason I went that ham though is like we had like everybody was there, so it's like maybe we can do something with that. Good thing our teammates were there. I mean, if my teammates weren't there, I would have ran away. So let's be honest. But
Your team
I tried
has
to pull out some
destroyed an
cool plays
inhibitor.
for the video, and I screwed up a bit. But whatever, it is what it is, you know. We still aced them. Hopefully we can. I mean, I wish they would push with the ace, but at least Silver's trying. Katarina's doing a little bit. That's good. What do I want to? You know what? I'm gonna try to get a frozen mallet just to help slow people down. Plus, I need more health, right? I want to damage those turrets. Like, if I can ever hit this turret one time, boom, thing's over. I mean, I've almost got 3,000 health, so.
An ally has been slain.
Just keep pressure. Just keep pressure the whole lane. The whole time. I will not leave my lane. That was what I've been trying to tell you, like, for the past few videos. Like that, like how easy is it to win bronze? It actually is easy when
An
you're just
ally has
doing your
been
job,
slain.
right? Just push the lane.
Chaos will follow.
Like the rest will come, right? Like the skills will change, you know, like when we get into silver or something like that, you know, maybe strategy changes, right? But for now, I'm just gonna keep pressure up here until silver gets back. What are they gonna do? You know? They can try to hold me from getting this, or they can try to hold Sivir from getting hers. But like, that's the thing. There's so much pressure going on to them that it's too hard. They're struggling. They are actually struggling. just because of the pressure. My dad, because you know I've got two buttons on. Okay, please let me get the style. Whew, boy, I took that tower good. I need some health, so I'm gonna.
An enemy has been slain.
I gave Morgana.
Double kill.
She's actually the one helping
An
me in this
ally
game,
has been
so
slain.
you know, I've got to give her some props.
An enemy has been slain.
Come on, minions!
Double kill.
Come on, minions! Morg wants me to go in, but hard to demolish to take out the turret anyway, so I don't care. Ace.
Your team has destroyed an inhibitor. Killing spree.
Oh man, you know, it's funny how lopsided it is. Honestly, like, why are we picking that
Shut down.
Slash dance
Victory.
for the victory? Alright, well, looks like we found a solution out of bronze. And you know what? I wonder if it would be the same if maybe I played ADC instead of top. So I'm thinking, what if I do that? Excuse me. I'm thinking maybe in the next video I'll go ahead and try to do ADC and just push the lane, and then of course I'll get as many dragons as I can throughout that process. Kind of like when I play top and I try to get Rift Herald when I can. I'll do the same thing with the dragons, but I'll be playing ADC, and we'll see if the same concept works. I mean, maybe it's not, you know, maybe it's not as simple as just playing as a team, right? We're trying to um, we're trying to win simply by pushing our lane, and that's it. So yeah, I'll try that. I'll try that next, and you know, I'll show you like a cool rune page or something, and then maybe we'll discuss domination actually, because we haven't done that yet. But yeah, just don't forget to slash mute all, so you can keep trying while the noobs are crying. Nah, but for real though, have a great day.